David Devine, we interviewed you in the very first days of January in 2017 as Harlow was 70.
That's right.
Talking about why we were in Chippingfield and the whole history story.
Yep.
You had a busy year, 2017. Tell us a little bit about your year.
Okay. Well, yeah, I did have a very busy year. In fact, I was engaged. I was approached by the council towards the end of the previous year just to ask about if I would consider doing various talks about aspects of the history of the town. And I said, yeah, that would be good. And I would focus on the 70th, how and why the new town come about as of March 47. And from there, I had a core talk about that, ready. And basically, groups of different people and groups in the town were able to then contact Harlow Council and say, we'd like David to come and give a talk to our group on X date. Can you arrange it, please? And I was booked to go. And I had a very, really busy time, not quite from January the 1st, but certainly from about March through till August or September. It was a peak time. I was very, very busy. I had loads of bookings, loads of talks, and it was the whole age range, to be honest. It was from primary school kids up to pensioners, and some of those were some of my biggest audiences. I had 2 or 3 primary schools, and they were quite large groups, 70 or 90 kids in any one go. And I had the biggest audience I had was 230 people, which was the Harlow U3A. And in between that, I had groups of 2 up to 30 or 40. I've never thought of a group as 2, but there you go. They were booked. And it was, say, young people, old people. I had Harlow Youth Council, I had the Harlow Chamber of Commerce, Harlow Faith Forum, various pensions groups, various residents groups, carers, both the Parkinson's group and the Alzheimer's group as well. So I had a really, really busy time. I did about 65 or so talks, mostly within Harlow, but there were a few. There were about a handful of talks about Harlow which were outside Harlow, Hertford and Thorley and 1 or 2 others. But it was actually I worked it out. I worked it all out with the bookings and everything and the numbers of people I saw. I saw just under 700 people.
That's amazing. And did people ask you, I mean, you were imparting your knowledge and your great depth of knowledge about Harlow, but did people also ask you questions, and were there any typical questions you can think of?
Oh yeah, well the questions and answers came thick and fast after most of the talks, in fact. And what I did, although I had a core talk, I did tailor it, or if you like, flavour it with anecdotes and facts relating to the group I was talking to. Like, so for instance, if it's a school group, it would be different to talking to a pensions group. And I would look at the interests of the group, and I would sprinkle the information, the facts and things, so that it would relate to that. So it was unique. It was kind of bespoke talks for each group. Right? But the questions and answers were always fun, and some of them were quite, I can't remember precisely now, but there was some quite interesting talks. Everybody wanted to ask questions after the talk, and 9 times out of 10 I think I was able to answer them for them. So yeah.
And did you get the feeling that about the vibe of people, I guess, that they were really proud of the town and fascinated by the heritage of the town?
Yes, I think so. I mean, certainly the fact that it was a 70th anniversary, that was a kind of focus for them, and I think it's given people a chance to think about it and reflect and think about their role in the town. I mean, not everybody has been here for 70 years, not by any means, but a number of them have been here only. Some people have only been here for a matter of months, whereas others have been around for a long time, been around for quite a few years. So there's quite a mixture, and I think it's had people a better chance to think about Harlow, not only looking back and when they came here first time and so on, and what their experiences have been, but also to look at what's happening now, the future of the town centre, what's going to happen in the future, housing schemes and developments, Gilden Way and so on, and Harlow North perhaps in the future, as well as looking back on their own lives in the past. So I think it's been quite good actually.
Yeah, so you're right. We are in a particularly pivotal time, aren't we? You mentioned Harlow North, Junction 7A, all those potential housing developments, all massing on the border.
Yep.
And it is.
Yep, it's a busy time.
Very busy time. So do you think that means it's more important to preserve our heritage, support our heritage, and promote our heritage?
I think so. Yes, certainly. It's the old sort of story of, in order to go forward, you've got to know where you've come from, in order to find out where you're going to. It's a kind of very much a kind of cliche terms, but I think that does spin it out quite well actually.
And now we're in sort of Harlow is 71, as this film is.
Oh yes.
Are you still busy?
I've still got a few talks coming up, both on linked into the 70th anniversary, which are mainly bookings for outside the Harlow area. People outside Harlow generally do want to know the how and why Harlow was. So yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 talks coming up in the spring, which will be quite nice, and into the summer, so that'd be nice. And also at the end of last year, which I did mean to mention, my last big event of last year was to take part in for me, a unique experiment and a very nice time for me, and that was to work with a fantastic charity called Canal Ability, who are based on the River Store. They have some barges there, and they offer trips for people to go on the river. What they wanted to do to help celebrate the 70th, they wanted to have, as a special event, they wanted to have somebody on the boat to talk to them about the history of the Stort while they were on the boat, the people on the boat. So they engaged with me, and I was able to come up with a package. I mean, I think it worked out really well. We did 4 cruises on the Stort within Harlow. It was only from where they are at Burnt Mill down to Harlow Mill, turn around, come back, go down to Pardon Mill, and then come back again, get back to Burnt Mill. And that was only about 10 or 12 people on the boat. We had a wonderful time, wonderful day, and I learnt an awful lot. I mean, you're asking me about what have I learnt and everything, and that was fantastic, because I've done a number of talks, guided walks and coach tours around Harlow over the years, and for instance, I've done a walk around the town park, and I've stood there and I've said, oh yes, and over there is the River Stort. It goes up there and it goes down there, and that was it really. But being on the river itself, completely new perspective. You really do get another view. And it was in the autumn, it wasn't the warmest day, but the people on the boat enjoyed it, and I certainly enjoyed it. I got a lot from it, and I would recommend that group to